sent to fly. I'm not that naive. I'm just sought to find better part of me. I'm on it.
Okay, so I want to talk about this whole Kanye situation, and just a heads up on this. This is going to be a controversial take, which isn't anything new. If you're used to me, talk to me, or know anything about me. If you're new here, this might be a little like, what the fuck? But those of you who are subscribed, you know what's up. You know how my brain works. You know exactly how I see things, how I address things, and how I analyze things. So when it comes to Kanye West, I never liked him for the longest time, and I don't listen to his music. I think the only song I ever listened to was just the song he was collaborating with, and that's it. I don't know any of his songs. I don't know any of his lyrics. I just never cared about the man. I thought he was like overly egotistical. But as I get older and realize that, you know, most of the world really is extremely egotistical, Kanye is not really much of a difference. So to me, it's not really that big of a deal. And lately the media has been trying to say, oh man, Kanye is just crazy. He's losing his mind. He needs to seek help. Now, for somebody who doesn't listen to Kanye, I don't know anything about Kanye up until a little bit recently when I started doing a little bit deep diving. Most people will just watch a clip and think like, man, he said something weird. He is really needing help. That's not always the case. If you actually stop and listen to people, you start to understand where they're coming from. Instead of taking a 14-second clip out of context, there's a lot you can tell about somebody if you would actually just shut up and listen to what they have to say. Now, some people don't want to hear that. Some people don't want to even deal with that because they feel like that's dangerous. Why is that dangerous? Because we're in a society nowadays where people don't like to be, told that they're wrong. They don't like to be proven that they're wrong. And I'm not saying that Kanye is right, because who knows? Who honestly knows at this point? But I will say that I understand a point of what he's trying to say when it comes to a very specific margin of people. Now, who are these people, you may ask? Well, they are the Jewish community. Now, not particularly every single Jewish person, obviously, but he has a point about the fact that they run Hollywood, they run the world. This isn't really up for debate. Like, this is fact. Like, if you actually look into it, almost everybody in Hollywood that's a producer, they're all Jewish. They're all of them. It's a little coincidence, I stated in an earlier video what my horsemen of the apocalypse were, and Hollywood was one of them. You got Hollywood, social media, mainstream media, and you got who's ever running the White House. All four of them are the apocalypse of the American way. They're the apocalypse of the future. Destruction of everything. They control all information that is distributed amongst people. Everyone says, like, right now, oh, Elon Musk is ruining Twitter because he's, like, bringing back free speech. Well, what in reality is these specific people don't have the power hold on that big website anymore that kind of, dictated, information being spread out. And some people will argue with me and say, Bazzbe, that's not true. That's not what's happening. Well, you ever notice that the political tab is just kind of gone? Wonder why. Also, on top of that, like, you couldn't have specific ideologies on there. You couldn't be... half of our country wasn't even allowed to be themselves on this. And we're talking about, like, bringing people back together. And it's just, like, the biggest, like... What? What is going on? Now, I find this all extremely fascinating because I really like chaos. I'm an agent of chaos. I love destruction. I love just people making a fool of themselves. Now, when it comes to Kanye, I don't actually think he's making a fool of himself. A lot of people will just look at the surface level of the water and think, yeah, man, he's gone crazy. He's saying some really controversial shit. He's bigger and crazier than Alex Jones ever was. And here's the thing, when it comes to these like media masses that are controlling the information and like kind of brainwashing you, a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that they're being brainwashed, but you are. You're being spoon-fed shit. They call like Alex Jones right-wing conspiracy theorists. Alex Jones isn't even right-wing. The dude protested George W. Bush. Like, that was the most Republican dude we can get in the damn office as of late. Like, he might have actually been a little bit worse than Trump, and I actually didn't think Trump was that bad. I know, whoa, put your guns away, chill out. I love that whenever you challenge somebody on the left side of the spectrum, suddenly you become a Nazi, you become Hitler, you become a MAGA supporter, and that's just a way to discredit you. That's all it is. But Kanye's been saying some stuff about some Jewish community people And, well, the internet hasn't been really taken too kindly to it. A lot of people have actually lost all reasonable sense, and they're just calling him all kinds of names. They're even calling him a Klans member, which is the most stupid thing. Here's the thing about this. I have brought this up before. I haven't made a storytime video about it, and I will go more into detail about it a little bit later on when I do. But most fucking people have never seen a Klans member in their entire fucking life. You don't know nothing about this fucking like group of people. You'd never even seen one, even in the robes. But you sit there and talk about it so just out there because you have no grasp or understanding of what this even is. Like, this is not like how it used to be, like, what, in the 1800s when they actually lynched people? 1900s? Like, we can't do that nowadays. There's laws. So every time I hear somebody say, like, oh, the biggest threat to American nationality is white supremacy, I'm like, alright, chill the fuck out. Like, goddamn. Like, meanwhile, our president that's currently sitting is, friends with, like, one of the Grand Wizards, but whatever. I digress. Can't talk about that, apparently. I don't know, Kanye was preaching about, like, oh, we should love everybody and treat everybody equally. And then he's like, oh, we should lay off the Nazis. And he liked Hitler. And people lost their fucking mind. And here's the part of it that I'm going to talk about. So, to me, and I got a couple points about this too, and I know that some stupid motherfucker is going to watch this video and instantly get mad because you're too stupid to see what's going on. You're too stupid to understand any of this. I get it. I say lay off the Nazis too. I'm not defending the Nazis. All I'm saying is I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of seeing them. I'm tired of everything revolving around them. There have been worse people in history than the damn Nazis. You know who? Joseph Stalin. He killed, what, 15 million people? Almost 3 times what died in concentration camps during the Holocaust. Nobody talks about that. Who was it? Mao, the Chinese dictator? He had over 50 million fucking people killed. Most people don't even know who that is. That's a little suspicious to me. Genghis Khan killed like, what, 100 million people? I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was like 100 million people. Who? And here's the funny thing. Out of all of these dictators, let's just throw Mussolini in there as, for fun, shits and giggles. If you put all these dictators out on paper, you print a picture of them, and you go to any single fucking person in the street and you ask them, who is this? The only person they're going to really name, probably 9 out of 10 times, is Hitler. He's got like one of the lower body count out of all of them too. Now, why is that? Why is it Hitler gets so much focus put on? And again, I have to say this because people are too dumb to understand. I'm not defending this. I'm not defending what they did or what happened like nearly 100 years ago that had nothing to do with me or my country. But the point is, why are we so fixated on that? Did you know, if you look up the word fascist in a dictionary, it doesn't say anything about right wing. But in the new dictionary, it does. It's kind of weird how they're just trying to use that to discredit an entire political party. That's kind of like what the Nazis did, wasn't it? It's a little interesting how that happens. But if you look at the new definition for it, it starts talking about the right-wing ideology, which is just kind of like, okay, it's very clear as fucking day that shit's happening, and people just don't want to acknowledge it, they don't want to address it, and if you do challenge it, like what I'm doing now, I'm just going to be labeled as a right-wing conspiracy theorist. I'm not even right-wing. That's the funniest fucking thing about this. People say this to me all the time in California. They're like, oh, you talk like a conservative. I don't have much of anything in common with conservatives. I don't have any of those traditional values. I think the only one that I really have is like family. I'm not religious by any means. I don't do half the shit that they do. I'm not blue collar by any means. It's just so funny. It's just so funny because these people are too dumb and they don't actually understand what they're talking about. But if you look up the word fascist and you know what image pops up, it's Hitler. Out of all the dictators, we get Hitler. What is going on? Like, are we really in a simulation? Like, the more and more as the years go by, as I get older, I start to feel like shit's just not real. You know what I mean? We've been told that, like, oh, you gotta trust the science, trust the science. Well, everything that we learned with science is apparently a bunch of bullshit because now people can just make up their ideologies and gender on the fly, and you have to be, a good person and acknowledge it. It's just no. Like I've said before, these aren't really scientists. These are just activists. That's the best way I can put it. They're just activists. And if you actually do have somebody in science that challenges that, well, now they're conspiracy theorists, and that's just not how science used to be. Science used to be about proving you wrong and proving you with hard facts. You can't even do that anymore, because everything's trying to be set in stone. Like, this is like some kind of new world order or some shit. I don't know, like tinfoil hat, right? And a lot of it has to do with, like, what I feel like what Kanye is kind of saying. He's kind of got a point about some stuff. I'm not saying I hate these people. I myself am apparently Jewish, according to my dad. So, whatever. And I don't care. I really don't care. I hate everybody equally. I'm not hating on anybody in specific. I'm just saying how I feel about this, and I'm just kind of making light of the situation. Also, like, I feel like everyone that's just attacking Kanye so much, they're just going to end up causing him to eventually commit suicide, and then suddenly the world's going to be like, oh, well, thank God he's gone. Now the world's a better place because, you know, him making a comment on the Alex Jones InfoWars show somehow, in fact, impacted my day and ruined my life, and my cat didn't come home, and my dad didn't call me back to tell me he loved me, my boyfriend broke up with me, just whatever. It's all Kanye's fault. And here's the thing about it, too. Like, we wanted so many progressive black people to just be represented. But whenever you get one that has his own free thinking, is not part of a hive mind, then suddenly he's the enemy. He's target enemy number one. It's just stupid. It's ludicrous. And I think even what's even funnier is you got all these fucking conservatives who have all been like, oh, I want free speech. Free speech needs to come back. I myself am for free speech, but real free speech. I'm going to get to that in a second. But all these ones, especially on Twitter, were like, oh, well, you know, the left wing silences free speech. They don't want free speech. Well, Kanye says a couple things on, you know, InfoWars. Suddenly all the conservatives are like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Oh, he shouldn't have said that. Ben Shapiro was asking for him to get silenced. You know how fucking crazy that is? Conservative-ass Ben Shapiro wants Kanye West silenced because he made a comment about the... Oh, wait, that's right, because Ben Shapiro's a Jew. That makes a lot of sense. That makes way too much sense. I just thought about that. That is so funny. It's a little funny, huh? You kind of sound like a little bit of a liberal there, Ben. What's going on? Oh, God. Oh, my God. What's even funnier is my grandma watches Fox News all the time. Now, here, take it. I know someone's going to be like, oh, my God, your grandma watches Fox News. My grandma is an old-school Democrat. She's an old-school liberal before this new wave of craziness took over. And my grandma feels alienated as fuck. And the only news station that she feels even does a remotely good job is Fox News. I myself don't like Fox News. I don't like any of these news stations. I think if I could, I would create my own news station and be unbiased as fuck. And yes, I would actually be unbiased as fuck. Because once again, I don't pick sides. I just make fun of whatever sounds stupid. And most of the time, it's on the left side of the fence. Now, that doesn't mean I don't make fun of the right side of the fence, because I do. I'm making fun of them currently right now for, you know, their whole, oh, well, we want free speech. Okay, well, Kanye, you know, examples free speech. Suddenly it's like, oh, no, we can't do that. It's like, what the fuck? It's either you want it or you don't. Like, what the fuck? You do know that means you could say things like that. It's not hate criming. It's not hate speech. Hate speech is just a stupid fucking term for people who just want to be silenced. They just want somebody to shut up and they want to control that person. That's all it is. There's no fucking thing as hate speech. Like, I have to stop and change my language, modify the way I talk to accommodate you because you're too much of a pussy to deal with your own feelings. That's fucking dumb. That is absolutely asinine. And how stupid can you be? Just leave. Like, I don't understand when somebody online gets fucking mad and they get into these, like, now take it, I do it too, but I do it for fun. I don't do it because I'm actually like, oh man. So even like when I play video games, when I get on World of Warcraft, I sometimes check the forums because I like to see what people have to say. It's fun, it's interesting, but all I see is like some molding, like some really fucking beta male energy, people just like no sensibility whatsoever. It's not even just in, you used to see that on Facebook all the time, and now it's infested with Twitter. And slowly but surely 4chan's starting to become like that too. It's just kind of like, my god, you guys are just so sensitive. What the fuck happened to you? Like, it's like your dad didn't give you enough hugs or something, or you didn't eat enough steak growing up, and suddenly you just became a gigantic walking vagina, and I don't understand it. Because I'm not like that. I don't get it. And the way I see it is I should, you know, people should be held to the same standard that I hold myself to. I believe that everyone should be like this as well. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely fucking crazy to me. I don't know. I just feel like people don't really understand what Kanye is saying. He's obviously not crazy. He's just saying shit to probably get out of some of his deals he's got. The man's smart. If you actually sit down and listen to what he has to say, he makes a lot of fucking good points. So I don't think the man's crazy by any means. It's just, I don't know. And what's even funnier is more people are fixated on Kanye West and what he had to say about the Jewish community than anybody has had to say with the mainstream media towards Janine Maxwell and her list of clients that went to Epstein's Island. That's a little funny, isn't it? Remember, oh, we all forgot about that, didn't we? What happened to Janine Maxwell? I don't fucking know. She took a plea deal or whatever, and that was the end of that. Nobody is commenting on it. It's so strange, don't you think? Makes you stop and think. And for the record, if anybody ever asked, no, I am not suicidal. No, I don't want to die. If I ever die for any reasons by suicide, just know it wasn't me. I was silenced by some higher power or some weirdo people that don't like the things I have to say. And I've already been in trouble on social media before because I'm a free thinker. I like to believe and say whatever I want because I don't care. I don't feel like I need to respect other people's opinions, respect what they have to say, because they don't generally respect what I have to say or how I feel about things, so I don't really see the point in me doing it to them as well. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be an asshole about it, of course. I'm not going to sit there and just be an obnoxious dick. Like religion. I've always never cared about religion. Even when I was super obnoxious growing up, I never sat there and mocked somebody for their beliefs in God. And most fucking like atheist people will do that. They'll sit there and act like they got all the answers to the world, like they're so much more higher intelligent, so much smarter than everybody around them. You believe a magic man in the sky? Dude, if you're so smart, why do you working at fucking Wendy's in a cashier in a drive-thru? Like, if you got shit so figured out, what the fuck are you doing with your life making $7.25 an hour in the Midwest? It makes no fucking sense. It's just stupid. I don't know. I don't think Ye is crazy. I don't think Kanye is crazy. I do think that it's good for him that he's got away from the Kardashian family because they're crazy. But, you know, hey, Kim's beautiful. We're not supposed to talk about that. You know, she's 100% real. There's no surgery or any kind of Botox injected. Oh god, I'm getting too hyper. I'm actually getting lightheaded. That's all I gotta say. I think this whole thing is ludicrous, and free Kanye West. If you get mad about that, maybe you're just not wanting to listen to what I just said. Maybe you don't want to take the time to actually listen to what he has to say. You just jump on a bandwagon of anger and hatred, and that's it. He's got a point. We should love everybody, including people that we don't like. How else are you supposed to achieve happiness and peace in the world? How can you be at peace with your neighbors if you hate them all the time for being different than you? It makes no sense. How's it you want the world to be united and together, but you won't even fucking take the energy and time to do that very thing? And then when a man suggests that, suddenly he becomes the target enemy number one. It makes no sense to me. The world's fucking crazy. I don't know. I don't know. Free Kanye West. Always remember, when a man runs on a freeway alone, he's crazy. But when 100 more run with him, it's called a marathon. Free Kanye West.